Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. But the good part is that the markets have gained strength in the second half of the trading session. 24,500 is with us and now we are inching closer to 24,600 mark as well. What started off as an extreme volatile session has converted into strength being seen on the markets. We are at the day's high point, nearly 1% higher on the Nifty. And when we look at the sectors, barring consumer durables, rest all of the sectors are actually up and about in trade. Let's look at the PSU banks that have been the star of the show, 2.2% higher among the sectors. Real estate, infra, auto, pharma have also picked up pace. At least 5 to 6 sectors are upwards of over 1% gains that we can see. What else is picking up pace? You can see Adani stocks that have gained strength. Adani Enterprises is 5% higher now, strongly moving higher in trade. You can also see names like Tata Motors, Eternal, Apollo Hospitals and SBI among the top movers on the Nifty. But what is clearly supporting the sentiments and the contributing to the Nifty gains? It's HDFC Bank that's contributing 33 points, Reliance that's contributing nearly 30 points, SBI, L&T, Axis Bank and Eternal definitely contributing strong in the market moves today. Let's welcome our guest on board. Brijesh Ail joins in. He is going to be helping us with his view. He's the head of technicals and derivatives retail research at IDBI Capital Markets. Welcome to you, Brijesh. Good to have you with us. Tell us, what do you make of this strong momentum that we have garnered over the last 2 hours in trade? We are at the day's high point. Do you think after 6 weeks of losses on the D Street, finally we are seeing buying that's taking place and this may actually take the markets even higher?
Yeah, afternoon, Sakshi. So somewhere we also believe that this is the time when the market is finding some support. So today's close is something very convincing. So the market has re-entered this 24,500 level. So eventually this was the major support for the last couple of days, but last week it broke. But now the way it has recovered, it looks like the market is poised for a bounce back. As you rightly said, after 6 weeks of correction, so this being a truncated week with only 4 working days, and today for the very first day, there is a very strong bounce back. So I think this momentum will continue, and we should be talking about 25,000 as the bounce back. So on immediate basis, this is what I see from the level of this 24,587. Maybe we should be talking about another 300, 350 points on the higher side. So view will be positive. It will be termed as a bounce back trade, and the levels to watch would be 25,000 on the Nifty.
Okay. Let me ask you about the key stocks that are on your top list right now, Brijesh. What are you watching out for in the closing hour?
So I think DLF is one bet which I'm finding it extremely positive. The way it has bounced from the 200 and moving average, it looks like there will be a strong bounce. From the level of this 765, I think the DLF can go back to 790, 795. So that's a trading opportunity. So DLF is something which is extremely positive. Secondly, one more stock which I'm watching is the Manappuram Finance. So this level of 255, 260 is a very strong demand zone. So previously there was a breakout from this level, and today it's again making an attempt to surpass this level. So my understanding is that maybe in the next couple of days we'll see a breakout of this, and this stock should head towards 280 level. So that maybe next 4 to 5 trading session, but 280 would be the target for the Manappuram.
Okay, got that. Let me ask you on Adani stocks. What's happening here? What would you do with an Adani Enterprises after a 5% uptick today? And across the board, there are many other stocks that are also gaining ground. Is there a fresh wave of momentum here? Would you carry this on forward?
Yeah, Adani Enterprise, I think Adani stock has been corrected, has was been correcting. So that today for the very first time it has taken support. So structurally, I think we should be talking about the bounce back. So for the Adani Enterprises specifically, 2450 can be the level where it will see some resistance. We'll review the position at those points, but then that bounce is there. Talking about Adani Port, I think this is the space where some buying can be done because it is again taking support at this 1300, 1350 level. So this is one of the demand zone. So yeah, everything goes right, then this stock can be back to 1400, 1450 level. So specifically any trade setup, then Adani Port is would be on the watch list.
Okay, got that. Taking the next one. This one is okay, I wanted to actually ask you on the FNO space. There's a lot of momentum in the new age tech space today. PB FinTech is the top mover, almost 6% higher. Look at even Paytm for that matter, 5.5% higher. And we are also seeing Eternal among the Nifty stocks that's also buzzing. So, new age tech basket is back in the buzz again. Which one is your favorite here?
I think all of the stocks which you spoke is, I think there is a very strong upside momentum, and this all stocks are moved with the help of volumes. So specifically, PB, FinTech and Paytm are the two bets. Paytm is something which is making a higher high, and it never corrected with the market. So I think it is clearly the one of the outperformers. So and today's candlestick pattern, which is almost up by 5%, I think maybe next couple of days we will see another 5 to 10% kind of a move. So directionally, this is one of the very strongest bet. So I would be continue my bullish view on the Paytm, and we can talk of 1200, 1250 in the short term. Plus, Eternal is something which is again forming a very strong base. So I think that there is a trade setup with the Eternal as well. So Eternal from the current level, I think it can go back to close to 320, 325 levels. So previously also 330 was the level from where the selling came. So I believe this 330 can be possibly seen in this next couple of days.
Okay, got that. Let's look at some of the other stocks. Okay, Tata Motors among the top movers on the Nifty again is taking my attention now, 3% higher at 653. Is it again going to fizzle out, Brijesh, or do you think this time around things will be different with Tata Motors?
No, it's too early to say because the level of 680, 690 is the multiple resistance zone. And previously the supply came from those points. So it would be wise that we wait for that opportunity. There can be a pullback to 680, 685 level. But there has been a huge selling which we saw previously. So Tata Motors has to sustain about those levels. And even the call writers are aggressive at those points. So I think maybe it is still an underperformer as of now. So making a bottom fishing would be a little bit risky bet as of now.
Okay, fair point. All right, let me just quickly look at some of the other aspects that we can draw our attention to. Let's find out from the PSU banks, the top moving sector, Brijesh. Is SBI continuing to be your top favorite bet? Do you think even below SBI there are some opportunities that investors can look at?
Yeah, definitely. I think one should also keep a watch in Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank. The structure for the Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank is extremely positive. Bank of Baroda from the level of 244, I think one can bet for 15 points more. 260, 265 what it is opening up for. So that's an opportunity in the Bank of Baroda and specifically for the Canara Bank. I think if this 150 to 120, that's the next level one can watch for the Canara Bank. 115 or maybe 120.
Okay, got that. Let's take some of the other questions. Okay, it's from the banking space again. It's HDFC Bank that's really contributing to the Nifty, move today, and we are now inching closer to 24,600 now. It's the top contributor. At 1996 days high, over a percent higher for HDFC Bank. How are you looking at this one? There's a complete contrast between HDFC and ICICI today. What would you do with HDFC?
So I would hold my long position because it is still, for me, it is still the consideration is going on. The trigger is 2030 level. So as long as it doesn't break out about 2030, this consideration will keep moving up. So I would be holding my long and I will be like, if I need to worry, then 1950 is a trigger. Only if it breaks 1950, then I will be cautious or maybe I'll reduce my long position. But at the current scenario, I would like to hold and I would like to watch 2030 level. If that is taken off, then I expect another 100 points rally in the HDFC Bank.
Okay, let's talk about ICICI Bank as well. This stock has been under pressure right from the word go today. What is the key reason? One is a sentiment hit that ICICI Bank has taken, even though you can see along with the banks that has also improved and now it's into the green, but it was lying low throughout the course of the session. Why was the sentiment around it weak? That was because ICICI Bank has raised the minimum balance for savings account. Now, from 10,000 rupees, investors of or savers of ICICI Bank account holders will have to keep a minimum of 50,000 rupees in their savings account, is what ICICI Bank has asked of its customers. This is a major move that ICICI Bank has taken as of Saturday. And this is effective 1st of August that the new rule has come into effect, that it says from 10,000 to 50,000 rupees in most of the urban areas, whereas in semi-urban the new requirement is 25,000 rupees vis-a-vis 5,000 rupees earlier, and for the rural branches it's now up to 10,000 rupees from 2,500 rupees earlier as well. So this is likely to impact a large amount of customers, especially from rural, semi-urban as well as urban areas. That was one of the key reasons as well. There are a lot of analysts who are looking at whether this can actually lead to many of their customers start to look for alternatives as it comes to the kind of choice that they have. Let's find out on ICICI Bank. What's your first thought here, Brijesh?
I do understand that from that this sentiment point of view, it is not very positive sign. But I would like to take a call from the technical and derivatives point of view. So what I can see that this level of 1400 is a very strong base, which has been held for the last 4 to 5 months. So that is one support. And secondly, even though after the negative news, the put writers at 1400 have not shifted their positions. Normally, what happens is they from 1400 they would like shift that into 1300 or maybe 1350, so that has not got into picture. So the put writers are extremely positive. They are holding the positions at 1400. So there were many there were many people who wanted to understand that whether they can just short or they can exit the portfolio. So what we advised was like just hold the position because 1400 is something which is very strong. Until and unless we don't see a breakdown below 1400, I think we should not take that view. Once 1400 is broken, then maybe slightly the positional bets can, means whoever is holding a long position can do, but shorting will still be not be a good.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also helped you out, viewers, in taking a view there. Let me also just reiterate for all our viewers what else is buzzing. The Nifty next 15 names, what's really looking attractive is let's try and find out some stocks there. You have PFC that's risen higher in trade, JSW Energy, Adani Power. You also have names like Varun Beverages, Chola Mandalam Investment, DLF. All of these names are actually buzzing. Let me look at the Nifty 500 names as well to see if there are interesting names here. You have DOMS Industries. After the earnings, the stock has shot up 8-9% in trade today. Bharat Rasayan is higher. You also have names like apparel stocks. SP Apparels is higher in trade. You also have names like GE Power, that's higher. MIRC Electronics. Then you have Yatra Online. You have Jubilant Agri as another stock that's also buzzing. You have names like some of such names that are actually buzzing. Even VST Tillers and Tractors, TVS Supply Chain Solutions, some of these stocks that are buzzing. Anything within the broader markets clearly that you are looking at, Brijesh, at this point in time?
Sakshi, from the this Nifty next 50, specifically this one has to keep a watch on the Indigo. So Indigo is one stock which is now very strongly forming a base, and it looks like there can be a breakout maybe today, tomorrow. So very soon we can see some breakout in the Indigo. So Indigo, the formation is very strong. So one has to keep that on the watch list. Secondly, this Loda developer is also something which is very positive from the charts point of view. It is witnessing a bounce from the support zone. So I would be keeping a watch on it. RSC PFC, I would be slightly cautious because the stock is already broken down. It can be just a bounce back kind of a trend. But another thing, the Chola finance is something which is also getting up some strength. So the stock is corrected and it's now finding a base. So there can be a strong pullback, and this pullback can be close to 1580, 1600 levels. So there's opportunity in Chola, there's opportunity in Indigo, there's opportunity in Lodha.
Hmm. Okay, let me just quickly also look at some of the negatives. PG Electroplast has been the top loser in trade today. It fell up to what 15, 16 odd percent in trade. There was also an equity exchange worth 526 odd crore rupees today. Remember, the company, on Friday detailed how they are cutting the growth guidance for both revenue as well as profit by a huge margin, and that led to the stock falling sharply even on Friday, and again today is day two, already about 35-37% odd kind of a fall is what we've already seen on the stock in the last 2 days alone. The stock is right now hovering at around 508 odd levels. It had also briefly slipped below that mark as well. In fact, brokerage houses have also started to cut the financial year 2026 EPS estimates. Nuvama has cut EPS estimates for PG Electroplast by 35%, for FY27 by 25%, and for FY28 by 10% respectively, on the back of the lower room AC growth, margin assumptions, and the higher interest costs for the current fiscal year as well. Let's find out, what's in the offing for PG Electroplast. For those who have the stock in their portfolio, is there a way out of holding on to it, or do you think it's a time to just book losses?
Yeah, I think last week there was a 24% correction, and today it has been like almost 13-14% kind of a correction. So it's a deep cut. So I think even if there is any pullback, that will get sold off. So somebody who doesn't want to continue to take further risk should exit at the current price, or somebody who is willing to take little bit of risk can wait for a small bounce, not to a very aggressive on the higher side. Anything close to 600 should be viewed as an exit opportunity, and should one should stay away.
Okay, let's talk about this one stock that I mentioned just briefly in the Nifty 500 basket, which is on the positive, VST Tiller Tractors. The stock jumped 11% after the profit nearly doubled and margins also expanded for the company. In fact, when we look at the kind of results that I've seen, net profit has increased by 96.5% to 44 crores for the company. Revenue has increased by 48%. EBITDA has also risen to 37.6 crores. We also have seen that the company last week, the company had announced launch of its FENTM tractor series as well, which means fuel efficient and torque max tractors, and multiple models were launched ranging from 18.5 to 29 horsepower with two and four-wheeler drive options as well. That had also kept the stock buoyant. At 4,780, what is the kind of sense that you have on the stock, VST Tillers?
From the immediate trading perspective, I think the today whatever the high we have seen at 5066, that is going to stay, because the level of 5000 is the resistance zone. So I would like to see some profit booking in this counter. Maybe whenever it comes back to 4400 or maybe 4300, that is a very safe bet. Then one can re-enter the long bet. Can be a profit booking, and this stock maybe not on an immediate basis, but next one or two trading session after heading higher towards 5000 level, there can be a slip, or maybe some corrections can be there. So somebody is holding a position, try to take some profits, not maybe the 100%, at least 50% take profits close to 5000 mark. And whenever there is a good correction close to 43, 4400, I think one can re-enter, provided having a long-term view. But on an immediate basis, close to 5000, or try to take some profits.
Okay, try to take some profits. That's the view that has been shared for all of you viewers. Let me just quickly look at what else can we look at. PSU stocks within the PSU basket, particularly, Brijesh, are you looking at anything? Defense, railways, power? What's really looking good? Even OMCs that have been buzzing today. What is looking good to you within PSUs?
So maybe from the specific PSU, IOC is something which is one of the outperforming in the HPBP and IOC pack. So IOC can see some strength. So that is what we were keeping a watch on. From this level of 100, 140, 145, there can be a bounce till 150, 155. So that can be a small opportunity in the this IOC. We are liking Gate. Gale, the structure for the gauge is positive. So there's a strength. The stock has corrected and the bounce back can take it back to 185 level. So again, it would be a more or less 10 points kind of a trading opportunity in the gauge. Lastly, one which we are suggesting is the ONGC. So it's a very slow mover, but if all the sectors in this segment, if it starts moving up, then this can be the possible bottom for the stock. And it has to sustain about 245 level. But in the near future, if 245 level is taken up, then there can be a short-term reversal. So whoever is having a long bet in ONGC can try to do some averaging at the current price.
Okay, fair point. Let's also see one more space. Cement is something that I wanted to take a view on. Grasim has been in the buzz today. We have seen over the last couple of weeks some momentum generating across the board on the cement pack. Even the mid-cap cement players had been buzzing as well. Today we've seen JSW Cement also close in its IPO. So there's a lot of action in the cement space, news flow wise, M&A is happening, newer entrants coming in. What is your thought on cement basket?
I think this is more of a momentum bus, so there is no positional trade setup. So
Okay.
maybe and secondly, this stock has had corrected previously, and now what we are seeing is just a bounce back trade. So as you named, Grasim, maybe to some extent Ambuja Cement or maybe JSW, we are more into a like a trading kind of opportunity. I am not very sure whether this momentum will continue from the positional point of view. Somebody who's stuck in Grasim can look for 2,800 as a upside, and so it could be a more of a trading opportunity, not too much, and this bounce can be treated as to take some exit from the long.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has answered your questions. Let me just ask you on a few more other interesting topics. Let me ask you on pharma and IT. I will ask you on that. These were the two spaces that were being seen as the most vulnerable spaces because of what was being heard of on the tariff front, and global uncertainty mounting. What is your current fresh position on pharma and IT?
So even though when there's a negative news on the pharma, the stocks like Lupin was outperforming. So we were keeping a watch on Lupin. The structure for the Lupin is slightly turning positive. It didn't go negative on the news. So in the near term, if Lupin sustains about this 1950, 1960 level, then I think there can be a short-term breakout in the Lupin. So Lupin, one has to hold the long bets, and on the way up, if there is a volume, I think Lupin can be one of the outperformers. Secondly, this Dr. Reddy is also something which is very positive on charts. So it also the stock also didn't correct the way other stocks corrected. So slowly it is making a bottom somewhere close to 1180 mark. So and recently the correction came from the level of 1300. So I think Dr. Reddy can also see some reversals. And lastly, the Torrent Pharma. This is what we are recommending on the long side. Even if there is any small corrections, that can be viewed as a buying opportunity because Torrent Pharma, we believe this can go back to 38 and 3,800 level in the near future. So, and clear cut, there was a buying on the 7th of August, and that was a very strong buy. There was a lot of volumes which kicked in at that point. So, I think that momentum will stay, and Torrent is something which we'll keeping a watch on.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also helped you out. Last 5 minutes to go. Any BTST, STBT trades that you would like to highlight, Brijesh, for investors?
Okay, so I think SBI continues to stay strong. So SBI is something which I would be taking a bet. That can be the BTST kind of a trade. Secondly, the Tube investment is one stock which is coming to my radar. So Tube investment can be bought at current price, and it's up by 4%. So another 2 to 3% kind of a gain can be seen in tomorrow's session. So, Tube Investments and State Bank of India. That can be two opportunities for tomorrow's trade.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also helped you out. All right, Brijesh, we'll thank you then on that note for being with us and helping us navigate through all the moves in the markets, and of course highlighting for us where are still the buying opportunities emerging in this volatile setup. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. 204 points higher. I think the Monday blues have been digested and the markets are forward looking now. 24,569, trying to find its mojo on the markets. You can see clearly near the day's high point is where we are at, 200 points higher on the Nifty. All the sectors barring consumer durables, that's where all the action is. This is despite the fact that the India VIX is still up by about 1.5%, but definitely it's climbed down from about 3.5–4% uptick that we had seen on India VIX since morning. So PSU Banks now 2% higher, top moving sectoral index, that's where the action is. Real estate also picking up pace, now 1.8% up. Infra stocks over 1% higher, autos, banks, financial services also sharply higher in trade. You also have the broader markets that have improved from the day's lowest point. Look at mid caps, that's up by 0.7%. Small caps are up 0.3% higher. Top mover is Adani Enterprises, Tata Motors after the numbers, Eternal, Grasim, Apollo Hospitals as among the top movers, whereas the top drags remain Hero MotoCorp, Hindalco. You also have names like BEL, Bajaj Finance, Maruti as among those top drags, but ICICI Bank, that was the top drag in the morning, has actually picked up pace in the trade. Let's look at F&O. PB Fintech, top mover, 197 Communication, that's Paytm's parent company, 5.5% higher. Supreme Industries also up in trade. Let's look at the ones that are declining. PG Electroplast, Amber Enterprises, Voltas, Titagarh Rail. These are the top stocks that are seen declining in trade. PSU movers, you have PFC, REC, then you have NHPC, even railway stocks like RBNL, IRFC, even IRCTC for that matter. They are the ones that are buzzing within the top 500 names. Names like I marked out for all our viewers already, some of them. We have HBL Engineering up nearly 13%, Heriom Pipe Industries up by 12%. You also have names like Jubilant Agri and Consumer, that's up by 11% in trade. GE Power India at 325, another 12% higher in trade. SP Apparels is higher in trade as well, almost 11% up. You also have names like VST Tillers, Idea Forge Technology from the defense space, 8% higher. That's a strong one that we are seeing today. So a lot of these momentum stocks that continue to hover higher in trade. Let me also just pull up from the banking and the financial names what else is ticking up. Home First Finance, remember there was a change of hands of equity and therefore 6.5% higher. Anand Rathi Wealth is up 4%. Geo Financial Services, Poonawalla FinCorp, Credit Access Grameen, Hudco, these are all the stocks that are opening up. They are hovering higher towards the end of the session. We are looking at all the stocks barring Bank of Maharashtra on the PSU banks, that's up. So banks, financials clearly in focus right now. IT just about mildly into the green, 0.3% higher, but let's see how it really goes, and that's how the markets have shaped up. 1 minute to go, 24,558. We have seen just that 200 point uptick on the mark continuing, but let's see. There has been also some profit booking just towards the end of it because because some people don't want to leave it to the closing, because we do not know what kind of statements will come in from the US tonight, because that clearly has emerged as one of the biggest overhangs for the markets over the last couple of weeks. 198 points higher, 24,562. That's the closing level for the Nifty today. All right, viewers, we'll wrap it up at that. Do stay tuned onto Business Today Television to catch all the news and updates from the world of business and finance after the market hours. Stay tuned.
Well, we have a very short session, and backstage we were wondering how to pack in so much in just 20 minutes. But let's quickly start with first up. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise a warm applause for our guests this afternoon.